to the channel. And if you are having a problem with painting a rainy day scene, even if you are advanced or intermediate painter, then this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can approach a rainy day scene. How can you solve the problems that you may encounter while painting a rainy day scene? That needs a little bit of planning, and that is a little bit tricky. And as this is a rainy day scene, lots of things you will need to consider. In this video, I will show you how you can approach that and how you can solve those problems. Keep watching this video, and I'm sure if you like watercolor painting, and if you are in your way of going somewhere in the watercolor, you will love this video. So this is a very simple photo of Launceston in Tasmania in Australia. So just a simple streets in there. Lots of churches. There's one of the street has got a church in it. So I just picked that one up. So for the first of rainy day, the first thing you will have to do, usually the problem we have, like we start with very dark. The rainy season, it needs to be like very fluid. So I just sprayed some water, make sure the sky is wet. And the first of things, the main important thing is that I need to catch the bead down in the first wash, like down at the bottom. So those are very important, because so that I can have smooth transition, I can pull down those beads and pull down those paint down there. And my first wash is one of the important stuff. So I will just make a little bit of a bluish kind of hue, like it's going to be very light, but as I'll try to restrict my usage of too many colors in there. The cloudy day, so not many colors can be seen, but I can use a little bit of hint of colors. So the first problem we usually have when you paint a rainy day, we started use just normal watercolor. We started use too much color in everywhere, so we shouldn't do that one. So in the mountain range, we have so many houses and stuffs in there. See, everything I'm just covering up with the blue, ultramarine blue, just simple ultramarine blue. Now there are some little bit of hint of colors I can use. So with a very tiny hint of probably burnt sienna or sometimes turquoise blue, I can just have that one up in there. But first of all, just I had to have a little bit of bluish colors and everywhere, like, you have a smooth transition from the sky down to the horizon, from the horizon to the middle ground, and from the middle ground I'll again come down to the foreground. So everything needs to be very smoothly transient. As you can see, I'm using some turquoise, and you can use a very light green sort of stuff. And this is what I'm doing, adding a little bit of turquoise blue with a little bit of Chinese white in it. And then while the sky is still wet, I will start doing those distant trees, or maybe tall buildings, or maybe another church, head of the church, something like that. So I will just keep doing it. As you can see, I am everywhere. I'm trying to use my finger to smudge those things, to have some soft edges. So number two solution for the rainy day problem is that always try to have the soft edges, especially from the middle ground to your distant ground and the horizon. Try to have some soft edges most of the times, unless you have to specify any shapes. For example, here I'm just a little bit of defining some shapes of some pine trees, mountain trees, and a bit of things. Just have like random some calligraphic stuff, so that it can make sense to some people, and with the eyes we can just try to make something up, like a tree is building, something like that. And I'm just using my finger to just smudge them. Then the color harmony is very important. We cannot use too many colors in the rainy day, this kind of stuff. But everything we do, here I'm trying to everything like in the bluish hue in there. Yes, I'm going to use some green, but again I will have a smooth transition of a color as well. So this is, I'm just using some turquoise green here. And then I'm going to use some burnt sienna, but you use a hint of blue in it, as my mother color is blue. So I'm just using a little bit of burnt sienna, a hint of blue in it, so that it's turning to gray. And I will have on the top part, I will have it gray as well. So that gray comes from the burnt sienna and ultramarine blue mixed. And so that I can have a smooth transition of those two colors in there. I'll try to use wet into wet. See, the water bit down at the bottom is accumulating the colors in there and creating some values. And the front of this church as well, that church is in the background, that's another church, and this one is the street side, small little church. And here I'm just using simple burnt sienna with a little bit of yellow ochre and a bit of Chinese white mix. On the side, just put some darker values in there, so they're wet, so they're going to turn out very light. So I'm guessing I'll have to do more work on the second stage. On the first stage, I'm just trying to define as much as possible. See the color transition here. What I'm trying to do, we started from the sky, is the blue, then went down with the blue wash, started at a little bit burnt sienna. Just because we have a church in here, I'm going to introduce the burnt sienna there. Also started as a bit of turquoise green there, because on the left hand side I have trees, so I'm going to introduce some greens there. So this transition of the colors needs to be it's very important in the rainy day scene. It shouldn't have too much contrast in it. So the problem we have here in the normal painting, we have too much contrast in everywhere in the normal painting, but in the rainy day scene, we have to use less contrast and a smooth transition, more wet into wet. So with the turquoise green, I have added a little bit of yellow and a little bit of green as well, sap green, just to have on the left hand side, so that later on I can switch to my tree green as well. Down there I'm having a little bit of warm, because I'm trying to have some balance on the far where we have so many cool colors in there. In the foreground, I'm trying to have a little bit of balance of warm colors. Even though I'm going to have some blue cool colors in there, but in the background, I wanted to have a little bit of warm colors. So I'm still maintaining that blue haze. Later on, I'm going to do these ones with the darks and stuff, but for now, whatever I'm doing, I'm just doing that with the blue. So everything with that blue shade. So the main important part will be the street. So the solution to another problem, to make one painting, make one scene to a rainy day scene, is the rainy day scene will have a reflection. So always do the street at the very last, because the streets I'm going to have there, I'm going to put all the reflections there while they're wet. So if I start doing it now, then again I'll have to go back to the other cars and objects and all of the stuff. So it's gonna destroy the smoothness and the freshness of the painting. So I will do that one in the last part, and very in the end I will do a little bit of jewelry things with details here and there. But for now, I'm just making my ground to go to the street where I would have the reflections there. On the right side in the foreground, these two cars and just random two cars in there. I'm going to put that one later on, not in focus, and put less contrast in it, because everything would have, in the rainy day, would have a little bit of gloomy and moody atmosphere in it. I'm slowly just implementing dark values and from the left hand side to the right hand side. As you can see, I'm not using too much dark in it, even though I'm using some darks. I'm using in the bluish haze in there, so just to have that transition of the blue from the very top down at the bottom, and so that it just creates a rainy day mood. So that's very important here. So on the left hand side, I started doing a bit of warm green, like yellowish green in there. And as you can see, I'm just using this side of the brush and have some random marks in there. And I'll add darker values in there on the right hand side, that cool green, and with the dark values I'm going to add some white on top of that, glaze on top of that one, because I don't want that to be that contrast. Now the streets is a very important part. I'm doing the streets with the bluish cool blue colors, and just making the whole street white with the cool blue. It's going to dry up and make a bit more lighter, so that's fine. So making it really wet and washy type of wash in there. Now I'm going to add some blue on the one corner, in the foreground a little bit. Just add a bit of burnt sienna and ultramarine, and on the right hand side as well. Now the most important thing is, now we're gonna do the reflection for the cars, as the paper is already damp. So we just pull down the colors, and if you can probably spray the water as well, so that it just water pulls down those pigments down there, and that will create beautiful effect as well. So I'm going to do it here, and then on all these cars. My paper is damp, so it's just creating that soft wet into wet effect. And I will start doing all these cars as well. Just have a little bit. Don't try overdo it, because it's gonna look too much like as if you worked on it too much, not spontaneous. So just try to do very light little reflections in there. And as you can, and then you can do some all these reflections are vertical, so some horizontal line, just to show the random marks of in the rainy day on the street. Just something to do like that. See, just after adding the reflection, it was before just a gloomy day. Just after adding the reflection, it's just looking as if the rain just happened. So that's one way. And also, when you do the reflection, do the tail light or in the front light. You can use the gouache white or use the reds for the tail light. I'm going to do the reflection of the light as well. Just pull down with the burnt sienna and make it a bit of darker, just right down under the tire, under the car. I'll try to add bit of more values in the far distant, just add some blues in there. And but when I add some blues, when I add some values, I try to use a bit more water to have like mix them up together nicely, smudge them up, and having some the very smooth transition there, create some soft edges. And now I'm going to add people, and as I said, just those are just marks, nothing else, as you can see. So just some black marks. I'm just using the brush, and then I'll use a little bit of red to show their face, as you can see. Nothing much, that's all. So the people, they needs to be, as I always say, that they needs to be painted very quickly, just a gesture, because they are not the main character here. So you don't need to put any sort of detailing stuff in there. Just add them, something like that. It will make sense. I've got a very nice video and also PDF. That's a free PDF. Down in the description, you can see how I have shown how you can create the people. Or sometimes you can create the people and then how can you draw the people, draw the figures, and then you can build a scene around that one. So those are very helpful guide, those videos and those PDFs, very helpful. Please feel free to download that one, those things. I'll add some Chinese white and just brush them away to have some mystic effect. And as I said that, I'm going to have some white glaze on the right hand side so that it doesn't have too much contrast in it, so that it doesn't catch your eyes straight away there. So now I'm gonna add some bit more visual effect there, just to have some smokes from the car as well, so that it just creates a very nice harmony with the environment. And this is what I do in most of my paintings, and if you don't like it, you can skip that part, but I think that looks nice, like the way I paint, and with my, it goes very nice with those compositions I do. So these are the things you can invent on the go. Like, you know, if you have a cars, or if you have a houses, you can use some smoke effect, or even wherever it comes from. Even if you have a boat, ships, you can use some smoke effect to enhance that moody environment. And that's pretty much all. I'm just taking those tape off, and I'm happy about it. So that's pretty much all. I hope you liked that, and I hope you found something, then you can pick it up and implement that thing in your painting today. If you like this video, please consider subscribing, or give it a thumbs up. That will help to boost my channel. I will see you in the next video with something new. Thank you. Bye.